Can I use a virtual address instead of renting an office, physical office in Shanghai or some other city in China when I register a company? That's a very difficult question, to be honest with you, because we talked about this before. And okay, generally, as I mentioned many times, generally speaking, yes, we can use some virtual address in some cities. But legally speaking, that is not legal by Chinese company laws, basically. Why? Because just to tell you as a disclaimer, okay, using virtual address is not acceptable by the government. So therefore, there is a third option. It's kind of solution, quote unquote solution. As I mentioned many times, this solution is not a virtual address. It's not a physical office. What is it then? It belongs to economic zones that we collaborate with across China in many cities, especially in Shanghai. There are a number of economic zones that we work with them. So these economic zones usually offer their physical address for company formation. By virtual address, usually we refer to these physical addresses. Why they are physical, why they are different from virtual addresses? Because when the government people, when tax office or some other government department, when they visit this virtual address, economic zone people are going to confirm 100%, collaborate that your company is registered there. Now, this is the general condition, okay? But lately, what we are observing is a lot of economic zones. They are saying that, okay, look, a lot of companies you guys bring, foreign companies, obviously, they're not interested in paying tax. Because most of the foreign companies, what they do is they register China company as kind of tool for their exporting process, tool for accepting payments, or tool for entering the e-commerce market, e-commerce platforms like Taobao, JD, or AliExpress in China, or even Alibaba, or sometimes different reasons. For example, they want to hide the supplier's name. They want to be able to export using their own company. Therefore, they will hide, the company, the supplier's name. And then, if their competitors do some due diligence in some, country, they will find our client's company name, not the supplier, because this client is the exporter. So there are many, many different reasons. So as a result, all these foreign companies, I would say more than 95% of the companies, they're not interested in paying corporate tax in China. Obviously, they will try to reduce the net profit. This is what, the net profit is basically the basis for your corporate taxes in China. Most of the clients, they reduce the net profit, and then they literally don't pay any corporate tax, or sometimes pay very little corporate tax. So what we are observing again lately is a lot of economic zones. They are saying, okay, look, we're not interested in collaborating anymore, unfortunately, because, you've got hundreds of companies now registered, but none of them interested in paying corporate taxes in China, except for some. Because some of the companies, some of the clients we have, they're doing business in China, meaning they're selling to the Chinese market. And obviously, they will pay taxes, because if you're doing business in China, inside China, selling products and services, then there is a VAT. You have to pay VAT. You have to collect VAT, in other words, actually. And VAT percentage is literally from 6% all the way to 13%, depending on the type of service and product. For the services, it's flat 6, by the way, but for physical products, it varies. Now, but again, majority not interested. So the economic zones, most of the time, they are very reluctant. So when you contact us for kind of, solution for the address, We call it as kind of company registration address instead of virtual address because it's not virtual. So we just call it as registration address. Sometimes we're not able to provide it in most of the cities. Why? Because again, we are operating in China for many years now, and we have introduced a lot of clients, great number of clients to many economic zones. So sort of they're now, expecting results in terms of tax. But of course, if you are interested in paying tax, you are interested in doing business in China, okay, you want to pay tax, at least something, maybe every quarter, you pay $500 or $1,000 as tax you can also pay voluntarily. That's also possible. Tell us, okay, if that's the case. We are able to provide you with registration address and free of charge. In Shanghai, at least, this is free of charge. But there are some special addresses, don't take me wrong. There are some special addresses which belong to special economic zones. They can be used for special licenses. For example, food and beverage license, print out food and beverage license, medical equipment export license, dangerous chemical export license. Those are special products which require special licenses and permits. And they require special addresses. Why? Because the government in China, they allocated these special products in to special economic zones, meaning that not all the addresses, like for example, you're renting a space, you're renting your own office in the city center, and we register your company in that address, right? So it doesn't mean that your company qualifies automatically for this special permit. That's the point here, okay? Why? Because special permits are given to special zones. So we have to, absolutely mandatory, to register your company in those special zones, and they are paid. Usually they're not free. But free ones that I'm talking about, the solution registration address, they are for general products, which do not require any import and export license. But again, because of the current circumstances, because of the taxation, this registration address might not be available all the time. Okay, it's kind of first come, first served, because we are signing agreements with a lot of new economic zones now. And yeah, if we can provide one for you, then that's great. But if we cannot, we will tell you so. So what is the best solution and reliable solution to this situation is for you to actually rent your office. This is the best way, actually. If you rent an office in a commercial building where the company can be registered, then you don't have any problems with the tax office. You don't have any problems with the bank, even if you don't pay any taxes, okay? Don't take me wrong. So you register your company in your own office, then this tax obligation is not there, okay? It's up to you, 100% up to you. You pay your tax, corporate tax or not, that's up to you, okay? I'm not saying that you have to avoid tax. It's just, factually speaking, if your company doesn't make enough profit or doesn't make, any profit, which is allowed actually by law, then you don't pay any tax. But then the same situation if you have with the economic zone, they're going to, show some objections for using their address. Okay, I know all this sounds really complicated, but just to simplify, if you want, once again, the company to be registered with the economic zone and you want to have this registration address for free, then you must be willing to pay some corporate tax. If not, then again, rent an office, please. Consider renting an office. It doesn't have to be large, it doesn't have to be big or in downtown. It can be literally any physical office for one person, even like 10 square meters, 20 square meters, as long as it's a physical office with door that you can lock. It should not be a table like, a shared desk, because shared desks are not for company registration. That cannot be used. So any small tiny office in commercial address, practically can be used for company formation, company registration, and then you will not have this pressure from the government for paying corporate tax. Then, yeah, you can, whatever, it's up to you. You can keep minimizing your profits for your company by increasing the expenses, obviously. Then your company will not have any corporate taxes every quarter. So this is what, the answer is to the earlier question. Okay. Yes, you can use quote unquote virtual address in some cases whenever it's available and when you're willing to pay some tax. If not, then yeah, please go ahead and rent an office. By the way, I keep repeating approximate prices for offices. They range greatly across China, but generally speaking, in tier 1 cities like Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Beijing, starting price is around 3,000 yuan per month. 3,000 is approximately $400 plus USD. Around that range anyway. Let me just quickly convert it for you because sometimes people even ask me, okay, you talk about you give us the prices in yuan and then you don't give us the USD prices. Here we go. So currently, end of July 2025, 3,000 yuan equals to $420 USD. So that is the approximate price, $420 a month for your physical office. With this physical office, once again, you don't have any corporate tax pressure from the government. It will be up to you. Of course, legally speaking, you can reduce your taxes or don't pay taxes legally if you don't make any profit. But I'm always saying be very, very careful because tax evasion is illegal, but tax avoidance is legal within the means of the law. Okay, legal tax avoidance is legal, of course, but tax evasion is illegal. You should not be escaping the tax using different illegal methods because there are many actually in China, many dodgy accounting companies which offer you some dodgy solutions. For example, once you register your company, you might receive a lot of calls from kind of accounting companies telling you, oh, we can help you print some invoices, we can help you reduce your taxes, etc. Please be cautious. Be very, very careful because printing invoices, the first sentence actually, it sounds really fishy because printing invoice can only be done by your first accountant, which means when we do the registration, we provide you the accountant. So this accountant only can print the invoice for you on your company's behalf when we're talking about FAPIA or Chinese invoice. There are third-party companies which kind of, help you provide some invoices by basically like they give you a lot of Chinese invoices, try to increase the expenses of the company, reducing the profit of the company, and that is illegal. This is what I mean by tax evasion. This is illegal. If caught, yeah, the consequences are not good. So that's why, again, be very, very careful. Having your own office makes you, in control of all the situation, legally reduce your taxes. Also, you can use the same office for your work permit and residence permit applications because it's a physical office. Thirdly, you will be able to use the same office for your VAT refund process. If you are registering import and export company, as most of you know, if you export using your company from China, you're eligible to apply for VAT refund. For this, you can use this physical office, the same that you use for company formation. All right, guys, a lot of information, a lot of time for you to probably digest all of that. If you have any questions, feel free to contact. Okay, send us an email, book a call with me if you have some specific questions related to your business. you don't want to, publish it, you don't want to announce it, or you don't want to leave it in the comment section below, feel free to book a call. And I will be glad to discuss all these questions, answer them over a Zoom call. Alternatively, once again, yeah, if you don't mind, telling all the information through the comment section, go ahead. We will try to find time, address those questions